What if your childhood was marked by silence, not the peaceful kind, but the silence of trauma, of being unseen, unheard? And what if one day that silence transformed into a voice so powerful it spoke for generations? This is the story of Maya Angelou, woman who turned pain into poetry, silence into song, and her life into a testament to the dignity of the human spirit. Maya was born in 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. Her childhood was not easy. Poverty, racism, and trauma followed her like shadows. After experiencing abuse at a young age, Maya stopped speaking for nearly 5 years. Imagine that, a young girl carrying words too heavy to say, choosing silence because the world had already heard her voice. But in that silence, something extraordinary was happening. She listened, she observed. She read everything she could find: poetry, literature, the rhythm of everyday life. Words became her secret companions, stored deep inside, waiting for the day they would burst forth. When Maya finally spoke again, it was as if a dam had broken. Her voice carried not just words, but wisdom, rhythm, music. She sang, she danced, she performed on stage. And eventually, she wrote. Her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, revealed the raw truth of her childhood and became a landmark in American literature. Through her poetry and prose, she gave dignity to those who had been silenced by racism, sexism, and injustice. Maya once said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." By telling her story, she gave millions the courage to tell theirs. Maya Angelou became more than a writer. She became a cultural icon, a speaker whose words carried the weight of lived experience. Her poems were read at presidential inaugurations. Her books became touchstones of healing and empowerment. She showed the world that a voice born from suffering can become a voice of strength, not just for one person, but for entire generations. Psychologists talk about the power of post-traumatic growth. It's the idea that trauma doesn't just wound, it can also deepen resilience, empathy, and purpose. Maya Angelou embodied this. Instead of letting silence define her, she reframed her pain into art. Experts often note that self-expression through writing, art, or storytelling, one of the most healing responses to trauma. Maya's story proves a profound truth. Our deepest wounds can become the source of our most powerful gifts. If Maya's life were a parable, it might sound like this. A bird is trapped in a cage, wings clipped, voice stilled. For years, it cannot sing, but in the quiet, it listens to the wind, to the heartbeat of the earth. One day, it sings again, and its song is not just for itself, but for every bird still trapped, every bird still silent. That song travels farther than the cage, farther than the chains. It becomes a hymn of freedom. We all have cages. Maybe yours is fear. Maybe it's shame. Maybe it's the voice in your head telling you you're not enough. Maya Angelou's story asks us, what if the very thing that silences you could become the reason the world needs to hear your voice? You don't have to be a poet to live this truth. Every time you choose honesty over hiding, kindness over bitterness, courage over silence, you, too, are singing a song the world needs. Maya Angelou showed us that dignity isn't given by the world. It's claimed by the soul. And when you claim it, your voice has the power to set others free. So here's the question. What story are you still keeping inside? And what would happen if you let it out, not polished, not perfect, but true? If Maya's story touched you, hit like so her voice continues to echo. Share this video with someone who needs the reminder that their story matters. And don't forget to subscribe for more modern parable stories that show us that even in silence, the human spirit is never broken. Because sometimes one voice can give courage to a million others.